Why do Batticaloa and Trincomalee feel different? In my last video, we explored the forgotten Mukkuvar rulers of Batticaloa. But that story raises an even bigger question. Why do Batticaloa and parts of Trincomalee have traditions that feel different from the rest of Sri Lanka? Some historians believe the answer lies across the sea, in present-day Kerala. For centuries, the east coast of Sri Lanka wasn't isolated. It was connected to southern India by one of the busiest maritime highways in the Indian Ocean. Boats travelled constantly between the Malabar coast, the Coromandel coast, and Sri Lanka. They carried spices, pearls, rice, elephants, but they also carried people. Among those people were maritime communities known as the Mukkuvar. Traditional chronicles and several historians suggest that Mukkuvar groups settled along Sri Lanka's eastern coast over many centuries, particularly in Batticaloa and later parts of Trincomalee. While historians continue to debate the scale and timing of these migrations, there is broad agreement that eastern Sri Lanka maintained close connections with the Malabar coast through trade and settlement. These connections may explain why some traditions in Batticaloa and Trincomalee feel familiar to people from Kerala. One example is family inheritance. Unlike most Tamil communities, many Mukkuvar families traditionally followed a matrilineal system, where property passed through the mother's family. This was also practiced by communities in Kerala, including the famous Marumakatayam system. Food offers another important clue to these connections. Appam, puttu, idiyappam, fish curries rich with coconut. These dishes are found throughout southern India and Sri Lanka. Not because one culture copied another, but because people shared recipes, ingredients and traditions across the sea for centuries. Language tells a similar story. Sri Lankan Tamil is still Tamil. Malayalam is a separate language. But both belong to the Dravidian family and share many ancient words that reflect a long history of interaction. Does this mean Batticaloa and Trincomalee came from Kerala? Not exactly. History is rarely that simple. These regions were shaped by local communities, South Indian migrations, trade, marriage, and centuries of cultural exchange. Perhaps the better question isn't, did Batticaloa come from Kerala? But rather, how much history can one sea carry? Because for thousands of years, the Indian Ocean didn't divide Sri Lanka and southern India, it connected them. And many of those connections are still alive today. Which tradition do you think best reflects those ancient connections? Food, language, family customs, or something else? Let me know in the comments.